What's the big idea? In this lesson, you will learn what good stewardship is, how people can protect Earth's resources, and how people can conserve Earth's resources. Vocabulary you need to know. Stewardship, the taking care of Earth's resources to ensure their quality and quantity for future generations. Pollutant, a harmful substance in the environment. Conservation, careful use of resources so that they will last longer. An alternative energy source, a source of energy other than fossil fuels. More vocabulary you need to know. Solar energy, energy that comes from the sun. Throughout this chapter, you have seen that people and all living organisms can't live without Earth's resources. As in the past, living organisms of the future will also need Earth's resources to live. Enough clean air, food, and water. As citizens of planet Earth, it is important to be good stewards of Earth's resources. A steward is a person who is put in charge of property for another. Think about the last time you borrowed a library book. The librarian entrusted you with its care. For a short while, you were the steward of the book. You kept it in good condition so it could be used by others later. You've also been entrusted with the care of Earth's resources. Just like you, the people born after you will want to live on a planet that is clean, safe, and beautiful. It is your duty as a steward to protect Earth's resources and make sure that they will be available in sufficient amounts for future generations.
What is good stewardship?
Good stewardship means doing what you can to ensure the quality and quantity of Earth's resources for others who will follow you. As resources are used, good stewards weigh the benefits of their use against the risks involved and make wise judgments. History has shown that the people haven't always used Earth's resources wisely. Some people had great respect for nature's gifts, while others mistakenly thought that the supply of resources would last forever.
Miss Hetzel, how do we protect Earth's resources?
At one time, most people lived as farmers or worked as craftspeople who made goods by hand. Then power-driven machines were developed and society changed. The population increased and people flocked to the cities to work in factories. Farmlands and forests gave way to large urban areas. Chemical fertilizers were used on the remaining farmland to produce larger crops and feed the growing population. Exhaust and smoke from cars and factories became common. As more fuel was burned, air pollution resulted from an increased amount of carbon dioxide and dirty particles being released into the air. Also, waste products were dumped into streams and onto land. By the 1960s, groups of people began taking steps to fight the harmful substances, or pollutants, that were making the air, water, and land resources unsafe to use. There is an environmental debate going on. More than 20 years ago, some scientists predicted that extra carbon dioxide buildup in our atmosphere from human activity would trap more of the sun's heat on our planet. Some scientists have feared that this global warming could result in hot summers, warmer winters, and rising ocean levels. Now, some scientists think that the knowledge levels about global warming are seriously incomplete. They argue that the predicted global warming is not occurring and think that the government steps to reduce fuel emissions are not needed at this time. Regardless of current debates, you can reduce pollution that comes from chemicals you use. Paints, cleaners, glues, and even products like hairspray can cause pollution. You can use biodegradable products that slowly disappear into the soil instead. People can also avoid polluting the environment by disposing oil and hazardous chemicals properly at special collection sites.
Hey, littering isn't okay.
Whatever.
Don't sass me, we should pick this up.
I don't want to pick it up. Roger can.
If you want me to, I can help you.
If we
do it together, it'll go faster. Yeah!
Not only can resources be polluted, they can also be wasted. If a resource is non-renewable, it will someday be used up. When resources are wasted, they disappear even more quickly.
What is conservation?
Conservation is the careful use of resources so that they will last longer.
As we all know, Earth's resources are dwindling, so we should be asking ourselves questions like, how can we conserve them?
Fossil fuels are used to make electricity. Therefore, one method of conserving fossil fuels is to reduce the use of energy in your home. Think about times when you leave the television on and no one is watching, or when you leave lights on and they're not needed. Gasoline can also be conserved by riding bicycles or public transportation instead of using your car. Carpooling is another way to save gasoline as well. You can also conserve fossil fuels by using other kinds of energy sources called alternative energy sources to generate electricity. As you learned earlier, in some areas, wind energy and moving water can generate electricity. Solar energy is another alternative energy source that can be used to heat buildings in some places. Some homes are built so that the sun shines in large windows during the winter, and those windows are shaded in the summer. Other buildings have solar energy collectors like those that you see in the picture here. You may have seen solar energy at work if you have ever used a solar cell calculator. Another method of conservation involves reusing or reducing solid wastes. For instance, instead of throwing away items you no longer use, they can be donated to thrift shops for others to use. You might also want to reduce land pollution by taking part in a community cleanup. Yet another way to conserve Earth's resources is to recycle them. Newspapers, aluminum, glass, and plastics are some resources that are being recycled. Now please sit back and enjoy one final skit.
That was some good water. Now, what do I do with this bottle?
I know what you can do. You can take it to Mr. Hollis' recycling bin.
Really?
Let's go!
Where is this told recycling bin?
Right there. It's
Oh
more
my-
of a box.